Monument, considered by some conservative Christians to be satanic, was badly damaged by an explosive device. One of the 4 granite panels on the Georgia Guidestones monument was reduced to rubble. The attraction was built in 1980 from local granite and commissioned under the name Rosicrucian. The 19-foot-high panels bear a 10-part message in 8 languages with guidance for living an age of reason. The so-called American Stonehenge also serves as a sundial and astronomical calendar. The bombing is under investigation.
The Georgia Guidestones rose like a granite ghost in 1980 out in Elbert County, Georgia. Some called it the American Stonehenge. 19 feet 3 inches of cold stone carved from 6 slabs that weighed a staggering 237,746 pounds, heavy enough to stare down the end of the world. The man who ordered it up went by the name Robert C. Christian, or so he claimed. He was convinced a nasty social, nuclear, or economic storm was headed our way, the kind that leaves nothing but ashes, and so he built these stones as a roadmap for whatever poor souls crawled out of the other side of this apocalypse. It was trouble from the first brick. Whispers followed it like a shadow even before the unveiling. Soon enough, the conspiracy crowd was spinning yarns about satanic altars and secret cabals. Then, on the morning of July 6, 2022, someone decided talk wasn't enough. A bomb ripped through the site, shattering the Swahili and Hindi slab, and chewing up the capstone. By afternoon, the rest of the monument was gone, torn down with a backhoe for safety reasons. But here's the question. Why did a pile of rocks scare so many people into blowing it sky high? What exactly was written on those stones? And what was the real game they were playing? Let's slip into the shadows and find out. Back in June of '79, a mysterious gent named Robert C. Christian strolled into the Albertson Granite Finishing Company. He said he spoke for a small circle of loyal Americans who wanted something built to survive doomsday. The stones had to work as a compass, a calendar, and a clock. Tough enough to last a catastrophe. He wanted the monument to rival the old Stonehenge he'd seen across the pond, only this one would actually say something. The Granite Boys figured he was cracked and tried to scare him off with a price so steep it would choke a horse. And Christian, he didn't blink. He paid. His group had been planning this for 20 years, and they wanted to stay ghost. They picked Elbert County for the local granite, the quiet countryside, the mild climate, and a few family ties. The 5-acre plot came from a local farmer who kept lifetime grazing rights for his cattle. In March 1980, Congressman Doug Bernard helped cut the ribbon before a couple hundred curious souls. The sponsors sent a simple message. We're not here to argue. These ideas stand or fall on their own. Christian later handed the land and the stones over to the county. He swore in a book called Common Sense Renewed that there were no secret handshakes or hidden agendas, just plain common sense for a peaceful world. The stones drew 20,000 visitors a year by 2020. Tourists loved the mystery. Plenty of locals didn't. Some called it the devil's handwork from the start, and preachers warned of occult sacrifices. The stones got tagged with graffiti screaming death to the New World Order. Even the gubernatorial hopeful ran ads calling the whole thing satanic and promised to tear it down. So, what was the message that got everybody so riled? 10 guidelines were etched into the 4 big upright stones in 8 modern languages: English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, traditional Chinese, and Russian. The sponsor said the rules were meant to guide survivors of a nuclear war, keeping population in check, protecting the environment, and steering humanity away from the same old mistakes. Here's what they carved, cold and clear. Maintain humanity under 500 million, in perpetual balance with nature. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. A flat granite ledger nearby explained the setup and mentioned a time capsule buried underneath, though the dates were never filled in. The stones had clever astronomical tricks too, tracking the moon's cycle, framing the North Star, catching the sun at solstice and equinox. Nice gimmicks, but one university astronomer called them mediocre at best. That didn't stop the wild theories. Some called the guides the 10 Commandments of the Antichrist. Others linked the name R.C. Christian to the Rosicrucians and pointed to the capstone's nod to Thomas Paine's The Age of Reason. Then came that sticky July morning in 2022. A bomb went off before dawn. Residents felt the blast around 4 a.m. The Elbert County Sheriff's Office, with the help of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, took the case. No motive and no suspects ever named. So there it was, a mysterious monument born from one man's vision of doom, carved with rules that promised to save humanity while scaring half the world, half to death. A bomb that went off in the middle of the night, causing it to crush down. And yet the real explosion were the questions that were left behind. Who was Robert C. Christian? What was the dark secrets that hid behind those 10 cold commandments? And why did someone want the Guidestones erased from the earth so badly they'd risk 20 years in the pen to do it? You know what this means? It's time to remote view. Are you ready to take control of your energy and clear those negative vibes yourself? Head over to mbhmap.com and discover the interactive multidimensional healing map, your ultimate DIY tool for energy healing made simple for beginners to pros. With step-by-step instructions, you'll navigate an easy-to-use map that guides you through identifying and releasing blockages, implants, traumas, emotions, and more. No fancy training needed, just your intention in a few clicks. Whether you are new to this or a seasoned healer, this map empowers you to restore balance, raise your vibration, and reclaim your sovereignty anytime, anywhere. Visit mbhmap.com now.
I am so impressed with this website, how well you've done it. You know, I worked in analytics, IT systems before, and I'm thinking, wow, this is a lot of work. And the navigation and to know and just the whole mapping, you must be a very analytical person because this is so well done. So, I love it. Thank you.
Negative. All right, we are ready for part 2 of our remote viewing, associated remote viewing of the Georgia Guidestones. Who created it? Who was behind it? What happened to them? And anything else that we can discern. And we actually tuned in right before we started recording. And what we got was actually pretty interesting. So, Christina, what did you see when you looked into it?
So I just find the whole thing pretty fascinating that, a random guy walks into a limestone company or a stone company and is like, "Hey, build this." And the guy tells him a price that's way out of this world. And the guy's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then they end up building that thing. So it's just
Yeah, yeah.
fascinating. So, yeah.
So, yeah, and when we tuned into the frequency or the energy, we tuned in actually to the Georgia Guidestones because
Yeah.
we don't have a name of the person, but we can connect to the frequency of the person behind it in its creation. And I think it's interesting because one of the questions I ask, are they in service to self or service to others? And well, we both got in service to others.
Mhm.
But what I found fascinating, like service to others, like who others?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Christina, rock on.
Because usually that's not what that means.
Right.
So,
Yeah. So, but we found that this person was in negative polarity. So it's almost like it's with a. I feel like he's attached to a group of people who are all in this negative polarity. And you all, as the group, decide for yourself what group that could be, but it's in negative polarity. I think that's enough to suffice, don't you think?
yeah.
And he sort of goes off rogue on his own. And it's almost like I am going to tell people what's going to happen. And if you know about negative polarity, in order for something to happen in the negative polarity, the people have to agree to it. You have to agree to whatever that is. So they have to tell you what will take place. And if you don't give any pushback against it, well, the karma's off them. They told you and you agreed to it.
Mhm.
And that is kind of what I got with him.
Yeah.
Um, so anything else that you got with the guy of the creator of the Georgia Guidestones that
I got that he was just in negative polarity, and yeah, it's just strange.
Yeah, and I feel like he was kind of a lone wolf. Like he had this idea, I associate with this group of people, I agree with them, and it feels to me that he puts his all in, and that's his all in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's his call in, and he was kinda off on his own.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was really interesting is when we tuned in, and before you asked the question, you know, uh, in service to others, what does that mean? We asked the person who set off that bomb to
Mhm.
destroy the Georgia Guidestones, we asked, are they in service to self or in service to others? And what I found was so strange is like they're both in service to others.
Hmm.
And so I'm like left scratching my head. What? How can that be? And that's when you came up with, yeah, but service to who others?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I'll just speak for myself. I got that he was in service to others, but in positive polarity, not negative polarity. And so
Right.
it's
Yeah.
almost like he's saying, no, we don't agree to this. So if
Right.
you, this person or group of people, whatever that is, now
Mhm.
that you see that we are not agreeing to depopulation and all this other stuff, you take those actions, the karma's on you. So that's sort of how it all laid out for me. But I'm not
Yeah.
getting that we're ever going to get any quote disclosure on it. So I don't know if that means it's the information's not disclosure, or does that mean that we're never going to know?
Well, we should
See,
ask.
yeah, let's do.
Let's
Let's
ask.
ask. All right. Will we ever fully understand the reasons for the Georgia Guidestones and the man behind it? Oh, I'm getting yes, we will understand that. So it's not part
Yeah.
of disclosure, which was part of the question.
Right. I'm getting a huge yes that we will. Yeah. Big, big yes.
Yeah, and I've got the confirmation chills, and I'm getting the flashes in my mind, so I'm seeing it on TV. Wow, that's crazy.
Right?
That's so funny because I think that what is so cool about this, Christina, is when you get yourself in complete neutrality and not marry into an idea. Sometimes your answers can shock you because I was going the other way with this, and we went an entirely different way with the
We
answers.
we totally went a direction I did not expect because I didn't know too much about the Georgia Guidestones. I knew just enough to be dangerous and and
Right.
and have somewhat a small opinion, you know. But it was small
Right.
enough. It was small enough I could put it off to the side. So
Right, right. Wow. So anyway, we have actually got some other interesting videos that we're going to be starting that we'll be talking about coming up. One of them is the Bigfoot sightings that are just like dominating Ohio lately, like central Ohio. That'll be coming up. But next, we're going to address what, Christina?
we're going to start looking at the disappearance of the Air Force general. That his name is William McCaslin,
Hmm.
and he was last seen February 27th. He's been retired from the Air Force for a really long time, but he did a lot of stuff
He's
with,
the top dog
yeah,
of,
he did,
of the what are the eyes only? What do they call it? Security clearance. He was the top dog security clearance.
yeah. And so, like, his disappearance, and we've just been talking about, it's weird that you just don't hear anything about him and what happened. And then there are
No,
other
you
sides.
got to go on YouTube and Rumble, and those friend, the citizen journalists are out there, feet to the ground. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna do a deep dive on that one.
yeah,
So yeah, in fact, we're gonna do a reaction video to some of the suggestions and allegations. I think it's gonna be kind of fun, and whether or not what they're saying is what we're getting energetically.
yeah,
I cannot wait for that. That's next, and after that is
yeah.
when we're going to do the sightings in Ohio. What is going on in Ohio?
Right? What's up with Bigfoot?
I know the big hairy guys out there making a scene in central Ohio. So,
Yes.
all right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Please, if you can, hit the like button. It does help us get the word out, because at the end of the day, as QHHT practitioners, we're all about trying to ignite the superhuman in you. That's what these videos are to do, is try to help you understand that you too can actually remote view. All you got to do is get that energy cleaned up. So if you have trapped emotional energy, just work on clearing that out. If you need help, reach out to us. The links are in the description box below. Again, thanks for watching.